Okay, gang, welcome to another edition of Untap Upkeep Brawl. This episode was supposed to be the gameplay video. We've got it recorded. Unfortunately, we haven't had time to go ahead and get all of the editing done on that. It's going to be a little bit more edit intensive than I had hoped. So, for this week, I actually wanted to talk about the deck list that I was running for that particular video. It is a deck that I really enjoy playing. Other people do not like playing it against it so much, just because it does have an infinite combo in there, and my play group is not really big on infinite combos. But that's not the only way for it to win. There are a few different options on that, and I wanted to go ahead and lay it out. So when we're looking at this Pauper Brawl deck, it is based on Koll, the Forgemaster. He combines with equipment to get some recurring effects going on. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put him together with the Ornithopter and the Phyrexian Walker. These two artifact creatures are 0 casting cost, so they are both vital to the combo working, and they can also give you some quick blockers while you're waiting to get things online. After that, we've got the Goldvein Pick and the Explorer's Scope. These are two common pieces of equipment. The important thing about these is that they have an equip cost of 1. So, in order to play one of your creatures, like the Ornithopter or the Phyrexian Walker, then equip it, it only costs 1 mana, which is important when you're looking at the next piece of the combo, which is Ashnod's Altar. This allows you to go ahead and sacrifice a creature, and when you sacrifice that creature, you gain 2 colorless mana. So, between Koll the Forgemaster, the Ornithopter having a 0 casting cost, and then an equip cost of 1 on those 2 pieces of equipment, now you have an infinite mana loop, and you can pretty much produce as much colorless mana as you need to produce. So, when you're looking at the 2 finishers on there, which are sorceries, Meteor Shower and Rolling Thunder, both of these can actually go ahead and clear out the whole board, but you do need to make sure that you have some red mana available to go ahead and start the effect. For one of those, you're going to need 2 red mana. For one, you're just going to need 1. But, again, this is not the only way that this deck can win. This is the fun way, in my opinion. I really like the infinite combo. I like being able to suddenly say, hey, everybody, I've got everything online, and now you have wiped out the entire table. But if you don't get there, you do need another way to get through, and goblins were just an absolute awesome way to do that. So what we have is, first, we've got some recruiters for you here. We've got Akki Ember-Keeper, Beetleback Chief, Goblin Instigator, and Mogg War Marshal. All of these will generate more goblins for you, and so you'll recur these coming into the battlefield effects with Koll and a piece of equipment on them. You can keep them coming back so that you can go ahead and get your creatures continue to come with these. Next up, you have some sacrifice effects so that you can go ahead and make sure to get those sacrificed, bring them back to your hand, play them again, get more goblins. So with that, you've got Goblin Chirurgeon, you've got Goblin Sledder, you've got Mogg Raider, and Skirk Prospector. Skirk Prospector is probably my favorite of the bunch because that's going to help you get some red mana and also help you perpetuate some other functions that you've got going on here. Now, on the other hand, just going wide with goblins is not necessarily going to get you there. So, you want to have a few things that can actually punch holes through defenses, and for that, you've got a Goblin Assault team, and you've got Redcap Raiders. These guys can get pretty big or make other things pretty big so that you can actually get through and get some damage if you're having trouble getting through your opponent's defenders. On the other hand, if you can outnumber your opponent well enough, then you can actually use effects from Goblin Shrine, Mightstone, and Orcish Oriflame to just bump up the whole field as they're attacking, making it a really big, ugly attack and making it difficult for your opponent to have enough blockers to prevent the damage that's going to kill them. On the other hand, there are a lot of utility cards within the Goblin set. You can have a Goblin Matron to help you bring in more goblins. Goblin Skycutter is going to help you deal with pesky flyers. Impulsive Pilferer is going to help you with your mana by getting you some treasure tokens. And then you've got Rummaging Goblin and Stingscourger as well. All of these are going to help you fix some of the issues that you might have as far as removal or card draw or things along those lines. Now, just having those two pieces of equipment is not enough to get these recursion effects really solidly going. So when we're talking about that, we want a little bit more cheap equipment in there. So we're going to look at leather armor, which is especially great if you've got a once-a-turn effect that you're trying to get, as you can equip for 0, but you can only do that once per turn. Then you've got your Prying Blade, which is going to go ahead and get you some more treasures and hopefully help you with some more mana. And then finally, you've got a Whispersilk Cloak. A couple of things for this. One, it can help you protect your commander if you're dealing with somebody who's got a lot of removal. Another thing is that it can help you just get some big damage through by equipping whoever your biggest creature is there. Now, I don't like building any decks at all without some kind of card draw. I just feel like you have to have some method of getting some more cards in your hand if you're empty. So that being said, we have Electric Revelation, we've got Dangerous Wager, we've got Thrill of Possibility, and for a more permanent option, we've got Jalum Tome, which I know the picture looks like it's a rare, but there was a common version printed of this, so I promise you it can be used in Pauper here. Then, in case you need a little bit of ramp there, you've got Arcane Signet, you've got the Boros Cluestone, you've got Commander Sphere, and you've got Wayfarer's Bauble. Coming up behind that, we've got a little bit of removal, because sometimes there are just going to be those things that you've got to get rid of. So Crib Swap and Swords to Plowshares are going to be able to help you permanently get rid of some really nasty things, whereas Prismatic Strands is going to be a nice two-use thing that's going to allow you to prevent damage that's coming your way, hopefully keep you at the table a little bit longer. And then finally, when you're looking at the lands that you're going to use here, of course you're going to have your basic mountains and plains in there, but there are an awful lot of tap lands in here. The thing is, this is not necessarily a fast deck. You're working to survive long enough to get your combo, or working long enough to get enough goblins on the table to overrun somebody. I've played this deck a few times. I've got the infinite combo off once. I've won without the infinite combo once. And then I've also gotten beat down a couple of times because people don't like the deck and they will aim for you when you're playing it. But, it is a lot of fun to play. It is not your standard Boros build. It's a little bit trickier than what normal Boros is, but I have a lot of fun playing it, and I think you will too. I have included the deck list in the description on this video. Feel free to make any kind of comments you want to. I will also be including the deck list on our Facebook page as well as on the Discord. So if you have any questions about it, you can look it up there. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. Hopefully we'll have the editing done on the gameplay video next week, and we will see you then.